everyone, and welcome to the Squatch Watch. We, of course, are everyone's favorite Bigfoot investigators podcast. I'm here, of course, with my co-host, Dr. Proud Esquire. How are you today, my fine sir?
I'm good. I'm feeling squashy.
Perfect.
There was a time I feel like the last stream I had, I did actually have the squash vision that I was telling you about again. So I feel like we're getting close to watching the squatching. If you catch my drift, do you catch?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
okay.
On a recent hunt, I heard the mating call of the Sasquatch. And,
can you give us a quick rendition of what that sounded like?
I would not even try to do that.
I think you should, though.
Calling them to my household.
I really think you should, though.
No,
Is that what you want?
I think that may have been a fever dream because I've been reading a lot of Sasquatch / Yeti / fan fiction. And so that very well may have been a fever dream. But we'll never know, much like the true nature of the Sasquatch. That being said, before we get into our regular show, let's go on a tangent and talk about Dota for a little bit, maybe an hour. So how has Dota been treating you in your non-Bigfoot tracking time?
It's been pretty decent, maybe. Been pretty good. I've lost a few Juggernaut games lately, but not at all my fault, in any respect. And I've been playing. I actually just for the last few days just been spamming Lone Druid. To really hammer down what I want my build to be. And I was in one game with you where I was like, man, high grounding is actually pretty hard. I should definitely work Dragonlance in kind of as a mid-late game item. After my Mjolnir and Deso are done, getting the Dragonlance is actually pretty nice, just so you can have that sniper tier range and just be able to high ground without getting punished. So I've been liking that pretty well. I'm still on the Helm of the Dom. I'm still on the Maelstrom Deso. I feel or Mjolnir Deso, whatever. Mjolnir Deso AC has been my go-to, and I'm feel like I'm pretty good sticking with that. And then after that, I just get the Dragonlance Pike or whatever the fuck for high grounding, and I love it. It's great.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think about my week in Dota. It's been a lot of casual games. I've been playing a lot of stacks and just kind of relaxing, playing a lot of things that I've been randoming a lot and playing things that I wouldn't normally play. So finally, I think I talked to you about this, but I was theory crafting, and this is, in retrospect, is not great, but theory crafting in Nature's Prophet mid just for fun.
Yeah,
and
I remember.
I played it. I got to play it in one game because it was a random draft or a single draft or something. And if I was good at Nature's Prophet, I could see it working, but playing it, I was like, all right, theoretically, I know how this is going to go, but I suck at this hero. And it was interesting. I'll say that. I would not pick it again, but if you're good at Nature's Prophet, you can make it work. Because it's just it's so much pressure so early, where you have phase boots and a couple null talismans and a blade mail, or phase boots and a maelstrom, and you just power through so much damage, and you just have that mobile capability. That being said, the hero actually, there's a good reason his win rate is so low. His stats just feel he's just so squishy. It's weird.
Yeah.
But other than that,
he's essentially just an auto attack.
Yeah.
He's not even as good at auto attacking as Queen of Pain, and she also has spells.
Yeah. So yeah, that was fun to Theorycraft and play around, but I highly doubt I'll be playing it anymore unless they buff Nature's Prophet a lot. Other than that, though, I've been playing, Quap. I've been practicing quite a bit because she's real good. More Shadow Fiend. I think I talked about that last week. Other than that, though, not a terribly large amount of things. I played a bunch of Slardar games, and boy, that hero's good even when your teammates aren't playing around it well, and stuff like that. So I'm a fan of that. I played one safe lane carry Slardar game, and then a couple off lane Slardar games. To varying degrees of success, but I think it was less to win the games and more that I just personally wanted to play it, and because I don't play Slardar, so I was like, all right, I'm playing against this every game. I need to figure out the ebbs and flows of the hero.
Yeah,
right?
What it sucks to go, what it feels like to have a Slardar shut down. You need to know what can actually beat a Slardar. What makes you unhappy when a Slardar is being played.
Yeah, so it was educational, but I'm definitely not in the position to be playing a ton of Slardar, because I don't play off lane and I don't play 4 right now. So That was fun though. But yeah, more Shadow Fiend, Quap, yeah, a lot of the same. And then there's just some random heroes thrown in from randoming. Played a Centaur game, stuff like that. Played an AA game, that was a lot of fun with his 60 GPM talent at 10. Like, you get a lot of gold. I had a Midas and the 60 GPM talent, and boy, I was raking it in. It was great.
Yeah.
In that game, I had Ags at 24 minutes, and that was after like a mediocre start. Like, it wasn't like one of those games where it's like, oh boy, I like got every kill and everything was going great. It was like a pretty average to decent game. So yeah, nothing too exciting. I think really the bane of my existence in this past week has been what we're playing today, the Ember Spirit build, the Magic Damage Ember Spirit build, which nowadays is pretty much the only way to play Ember Spirit, it seems.
Yeah.
That really has been like that and Meepo, but I don't see Meepo often. But I see that Ember Spirit thing like almost every game it's not banned. And boy, we'll talk about it later, but boy, it is really, really good. And even if you're not good at it, it's still really good. Like, I've seen some people that are not playing it well, and it still is just dishes out a ton of damage.
Yeah. So what is like well, I guess we'll get into that later, but I'm just kind of curious, like right now, just like, what is the order of items that you think is good for that?
So I've seen a few different things. The one that I like personally the best that I've seen success with multiple different ones, but the thing that I like best is Brown Boots, Veil, Blink, BOTs, and then either you go for Radiance or you go for Octarine, and whichever one. See, Radiance is like, I'm just so, like, I like it on the hero, it's cool, but at the same time, it's just so awkward to fit in, because he wants so many other items that are, like, cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
And I also see a lot of Maelstrom on him, and a lot of Blade Mail. So, there's kind of like, it feels very personalized, I think. Like, I've seen some players just go Veil Radiance, or like Veil BOT Radiance, or something like that. Then I've seen some people delay it for a long time, and then some people just not get it at all. But really the key things are Veil, Blink, BOT, Octarine, and then Blade Mail is super effective, and so is Radiance. But I've seen a mishmash of things. I think that's my official non-committal answer.
So there's no like, this is what you do. It's like these are the items that you want to look at, and then you just kind of have to judge the game.
Yeah, it's basically like, so I've seen even some people, myself included, they'll just go BOTs first, even before Veil. So they'll, like, if they're having a really good lane, or if they're, just doing well, what they'll do is they'll go like Aki with like PMS and a Quelling Blade, and then just go straight BOTs. Then other people, they do like the standard, like Veil and then Blink and then BOTs, or Veil and then BOTs. So it really is like, it's far from decided, I'll say that. Basically, the only decided thing is that it's better than the physical damage build. So that's like the crux of
it. Like, Battle Fury Cleave is just so bad after the slight rework.
Yeah, it's not great. I was talking about this on a Tuesday show a couple weeks ago, and like I don't think Battle Fury is a bad item. It's just like it got worse, and other items that are comparably good got better. So now it's just taking a backseat to Maelstrom and stuff like that. And like, it is expensive for what it does, and it's just kind of like flash farming isn't as rewarded now as it used to be. So I think Battle Fury is taking a back seat. That's my official opinion. Although it's really not that bad.
At the very least, I would say Battle Fury is more like of, you actually use it in the situations where you would like use an Ember Spirit to counterpick a lineup. Like, you would definitely go Battle Fury against Meepo and that sort of thing, right? Or if you're against like a Lycan or PL or Chen or that sort of thing, like Nature's Prophet, where there's going to be a lot of units. Like, I think it's still good. But if you're just like against, I don't know, 5 individual heroes, like a Witch Doctor and a Sven and shit, like, probably don't go Battle Fury.
Yeah, I've seen people transition into the Battle Fury builds, and this is actually what I did the first time I played Ember Spirit with the Veil thing.
Yeah.
Once it was before it was like really prominent. What I did was I went like, what did I do? Like BOTs Veil or Veil BOTs, and then straight like Battle Fury Daedalus, and like
that's what
it's
I was
still
doing.
really efficient. Like, the Veil is just, even if you're not like, I forget who I was talking to, but someone was like, I'm just not a Veil player. Or I think it was AG that I was talking to. He was like, I know it's good, and I know I should be using it, but just like mechanically, he's not used to being a Veil player. But even if you're not like something that's super comfortable with Veil, if you're not playing Veil heroes, it's still just super stat efficient. Kind of like HOD now on like all kinds of heroes that we were talking about last week. Yeah, it's just like even if you're not going to be great at microing the unit, it's just like you get 6 to all stats and an HP regen aura that's awesome, and then auras from whatever creep you dominate. So it is just incredibly valuable to have the Veil. And then if you do remember to use it, that's good. Or even if you use it and like you miss somebody or whatever, it's just a great item. But yeah, I've seen some people go back for like Battlefield Daedalus traditional stuff, but in like the late game after they've taken over the game with the magic damage build, they're like, oh hey, I need to do physical damage, and then they like backtrack a little.
Sure. The thing with the Veil, though, man, like, I can't believe that was kind of... I mean, it's more expensive than a drum and that sort of thing, but, like, it gives him armor, and the health regen is kind of hit or miss, whatever. Like, it's nice to be not completely dependent upon the bottle, but it gives you armor and a huge mana pool. Like, that's exactly what Ember Spirit wants out of... and some, like, baseline tankiness, which, I mean, armor is obviously tankiness, but, like, some health, too. It's like everything Ember wants to be a mid-game, or an early mid-game fighter. Like, it's so fucking perfect for him.
Yeah, and it's affected by all the CDR talent, or the one CDR talent he has, and then the Octarine, which many people are eventually getting. It's just all around really strong, and like it benefits your teammates too. So even in that, like, even if you do decide like, oh, I'm going to transition and do like a Battlefield Daedalus traditional build, you can still have that Veil and just buff your teammates' damage. So it's fantastic, and Veil lasts for 16 seconds.
That's great, and it normally comes out about the time that your supports get their level 7, so like your Rubik now has his max Fade Bolt, and then you drop a fucking like Veil on someone, and you're like your Rubik's, magic nuking them for like fucking 350. It's good.
Yeah. So we'll get more into Ember Spirit specifics when we get into him, but first we're going to come into our segment, which is actually very related to Ember Spirit. And we're going to be talking about talent trees that we think change how we play or how we think about an actual hero. And I think each of us just has a couple compared to us dragging on for hours and hours. So why don't you go first?
All right. So first, I want to say Magnus, a.k.a. the Magnetor, Lord of the Horns.
Magnar.
No one says that. Fuck. What was that name in shit.
Magnar.
There's one shut up. There was one WCG where fucking Kaldor and Doa were casting like Dota 2, like before Dota 2 got like really big. Oh yeah, Rhino Mantar. Yeah, they had no idea about the game. Look this up if you can. Kaldor Dota 2 cast. It's just like 2 StarCraft casters, no idea about the game, but WCG was just like, yo, you guys have to cast this. And so they just like tried to figure out what the fuck was going on, and they had to make up names and shit. And they're like, Rhino Mantar, he brought them together. Watch out. It was great. It's pretty fucking funny. Yeah, but Rhino Mantar is really cool. Like right at the end of last patch, this like physical damage Magnus with the Echo Saber was gaining a lot of momentum, and the talent trees really sought to kind of solidify that. Like Magnus has always been a fairly decent right clicker just because you can put Empower on yourself. He has good strength gain, decent agi gain. But the fact of the matter is Empower is an ability that you can give to other people. Kind of like how Venge, yes, her aura makes her a good right clicker, but for the most part, when you see Venge, you're like, oh, this can help a carry, you're a support. Same with Ogre Magi, and really anyone who gives like any buff, like Beastmaster too. Like if you give a buff that can be applied to someone else, that buff is for them, not you. And so Magnus was kind of like stuck there, but with these new talents, like the 15% spell amp doesn't work, but getting plus 50 damage at 15, like there are so many heroes that have these plus damage talents that immediately just fucking change them over. And I just love this new Magnus with a plus 50 damage. He's now just like a legit right clicker. The previous wave of going Echo Saber first is now just full on Echo Saber, Blink Dagger, Shadow Blade, and like fucking Bloodthorn and all that shit. Like he's just really fucking fun now.
Yeah, I would say Magnus is probably in like, I don't want to make an exact numerical ranking, but he's one of those heroes that's just super fun and like satisfying to play. Like when you successfully execute things with Magnus, it's like it's one of those great feelings, like making a nice black hole or a nice sunstrike or whatever. Like, and I know you're big on this from like Dark Souls and whatever, but I know you were saying that you like his cosmetics that like they have weight to the sound of the hit. the hammer.
Yeah.
It has like a hammer sound of hitting it, and vice
Yeah,
versa.
there's like a lot of weight to everything he does. Like every one of his moves is like a and there's like a big fucking like it's great.
Yeah. And he also has options. Like, even though this build that you're talking about has been popular since 6.88 and is way more popular and way better now, he's still like, you can still do that utility Magnus and then either commit entirely to the utility Magnus or transition into doing like the physical damage Magnus from the utility Magnus. Like, you can do like Mana Boots Blink Dagger offlane build, and then you hit 15 and you're like, all right, I'm going to get an Echo Saber now. And even though you did not start off with those kind of damage items, you're boosted up to that level of like, hey, he's actually a threat with physical damage now. I'm a big fan. I love Magnus. He's one of my favorite heroes, and I'm glad that like I can play him again without doing like. I'm glad I can play him and not be like, all right, I have to rely on all my teammates to do good things. I can be like, all right, I'm gonna like be able to play a team fight hero, but also solo carry the game if I need to, because he just does a ton of damage and is tanky and all that.
Yeah, it's great. Side note, the 90 gold per min, because I used to look at him, I see 90 gold per min at 15 versus 50 damage, like, well, like, maybe just, like, the gold will give me, like, better carry items or whatever that'll, like, outdo the damage, but it would take, like, if you equate the 50 damage to, like, Demon Edge, which is, like, 46 or something, it would take fucking, like, 27 minutes to be able to even afford just a Demon Edge, so the 50 damage is, like, insane value.
Yeah. Is it really just the 50 damage thing, or is there any other part of his talents that's like especially
I mean, the 15 strength after, but it's really I think for the most part the 50 damage. Like before that you can get the 25 attack speed, but 15% spell amp is just better objectively. 50 damage is good, then you get the 15 strength. And then you can either get respawn time or shockwave cooldown, like either one's good. But it's mostly just the 50 strength, but I mean don't sell that one short, man. That's huge.
Oh yeah.
Dragon Knight is a much better right clicker now, and his only thing that actually makes him a better right clicker is he gets 40 damage at 15. So, take that one.
Yeah. It is interesting. I know people were talking about this because Fear brought it up, how different heroes have the same talent, but to like drastically different levels. So like he was talking about with spell damage specifically. It was like, all right, this hero has 5% extra spell damage. This one has 6. This one has 7. This one has 10. And they would be like, oh, that's a level 15 or level 20. You get plus 7% spell damage. And it's like Ember Spirit plus 15% spell damage at level 10. And he just like shook his head and it was like, yep, seems good. But it is interesting, like you said, with those plus damage talents, they vary so greatly, where like you have supports that get it at level 10, then you have cores that get it at 15, and then you have other people that get it at 20 or 25. Like it is interesting how it's balanced and how it's such, at times, very different amounts of damage.
Yeah, I mean, it all just comes down to balance and like what one hero needs versus another.
Yeah, it is just like when you compare them, it's like, oh boy, like this doesn't make a ton of sense. But
turns out in Dota, direct comparisons across heroes yield some inconsistencies.
Yeah,
who would have guessed?
All right. So for my first hero that I'll talk about, I like this one's less about changing the way I play the hero and more about actually making me play the hero and have fun. That's Sniper. I'm sure Gothier is excited to hear me talk about this right now because he's a big Sniper player. I used to hate Sniper. Honestly, I think he used to be, and still kind of is, like an incredibly boring hero that I just really didn't have fun playing. But now I think he's super fun. I mean, I wouldn't say he's super fun. That's an exaggeration, but I'm legitimately enjoying Sniper now. Because so his talents basically now are the level 10 is pretty boring, whatever. But at 15, you get plus 20 shrapnel DPS, and then at 15, you get plus 20 shrapnel DPS. At 20, you have 25% CDR or plus 8 armor. And then at 25, you can either take 4 shrapnel charges or 100 extra attack range, which on top of take aim and having a Dragonlance / Hurricane Pike puts you at like 1,000 range or something absurd like that. So the hero's just like, between Hurricane Pike, like mobility, and the CDR that I've been picking, even though the armor actually has a slightly higher win rate, he's just like, he feels like an actual hero compared to just like pick a bunch of frontliners and let me stand in the background and shoot a tower for an hour.
Yeah.
Like it feels more active rather than passive.
Sure.
So I've been having a lot of fun on him, basically. And like 20 shrapnel DPS on top of whatever it already does it's a lot of damage. Like it's already 75 damage, so it brings it up to 95 damage, and that stuff adds up real quick. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's like 22% damage on your shrapnel. Like that's super solid.
Yeah. So that's my like. I think he is the one that I've most changed how I think about him. At like. In that I used to never think about him. Like if you had told me like, all right, I think Sniper's good here, I would have been like, I don't want to play that hero. Like I don't hate myself enough like to play Sniper or Viper or Razor.
Yeah.
But like Razor's super fun now and Sniper's super fun now. And even Viper, I haven't touched Viper since the patch, but I've like people still like him. So, whatever those people do is up to them. But it is nice to have these kind of changes. And it's almost entirely like talent. Like Hurricane Pike is the other thing that's made me like Sniper, but it is a big difference of being like, I never want to think about this hero, and then suddenly being like, I actually want to play Sniper here, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah. Been having a good time on him, and that's like I don't say that lightly because that's like a scary thought. I'm a little worried about myself.
Yeah, I'm not very happy that you said that, but that's fair.
Dude, you'll be happy when we're playing it because it's good.
Yeah, all I need you is on one more hero that's just going to sit back and farm.
He doesn't sit back and farm. He can do things.
You'll find a way.
Oh, trust me, I do find a way. You're not wrong.
Yeah, like my fucking Sniper is ever going... Ursion Sniper rotating to a lane to help. That's ever going to happen.
Well, the thing is, like, I can pretty much stay in my lane with how much range I have on shrapnel,
right? And still be and just like assassinate from like you can maybe get a bounty rune and be like, "This is my rune," and then throw a shrapnel, and then we'll be like, "Thank you, sir." You'll go back to
the other thing about Sniper now that is different is like he's not a bottle mid, of course, but with how it used to be pre shrines, you had to like ferry out salves and all that. But now I just bring like a set of tangos to lane or like the 2 pooled tangos and a salve. And then on the occasion that I get low, if like a gank fails or whatever, I just go shrine. And so I don't have to keep ferrying out my my regen. So I just like I feel like all these early phase boot heroes are just so fun to play mid with because like you just out damage the person. Or in Sniper's case, you end up equaling out on damage. But like the same thing with Nature's Prophet mid that I was talking about. That's like a joke build that's not actually good. It is just like fun to be like, hey, I do 85 damage at 3 minutes. So have fun laning against me, buddy.
Yeah, it's like a Shadow Fiend that does really well the first wave and then just denies every single creep for the entire rest of the fucking like mid matchup. It's so brutal.
Exactly.
Yeah, and dude, I played a Shadow Fiend game where I had 6 souls at the end of the first wave, and I was like, yo, you just have to leave now. It was so fucking brutal. Like, fuck it, I had like 30 last hits and like 18 denies and that shit. Like, it's so fucking good.
Yeah, I actually want to pull up the game, but I played a Shadow Fiend game. I think I ended up having like 820 something GPM. And it was one of these games, like, it was in normal skill. It was just like a fun game in a party.
Yeah.
And I think it was this one. I was 26, 1, and 9. And at 10 minutes, let's see, at 10 minutes, I had 67 last hits and 17 denies with like 3 kills or something. Like, it was one of those games where you're just rolling in souls.
And very few denies. I'm not very impressed.
Yeah, honestly, I deny way more than that with other heroes. I'm surprised it's only 17. But I really like the Storm or the Shadow Fiend versus Storm matchup. That's one that I've been favoring.
That's a good one.
But yeah, Shadow Fiend's super fun. I thoroughly enjoy Shadow Fiend. I'll say that much. So
damn, I can't see how many denies I have at 10 minutes in this game. That's so fucking sad.
You gotta get Dota Buff Plus.
Oh, I mean, I do have it. Where is that? I see last hits here.
Go to farm.
I'm at farm, dude. Where is it?
It is last hits and denies at 10 minutes, at 20, at 30 total.
Last hits per minute. Where is that?
Go to farm. Okay.
So this is a tutorial
for everybody. Okay, so click on the match.
Yeah. I'm in farm.
Match number. Right?
I'm in farm.
Overview builds, combat kills, farm. Right? You click farm.
There.
It's all the way on the right. All the way on the right.
Oh shit. Okay, there we go.
Last hits and denies.
21 last hit, or 21 denies and 65 last hits at 10. Just saying.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Thank you.
But yeah, so Seraphim's a lot of fun. And
Yeah, I like him. He's fun.
so what's your next hero?
All right. Next, I feel like I'll just obligatorily say Lone Druid. I want to say I don't like Ranged Druid more than I do like Bear Focused Druid. I mean, it's better. I just like the other way of playing, the normal way of playing Druid better, just like playstyle wise. But I do love the change of pace right now. I'm having a ton of fun playing this like ranged form focused Lone Druid. And almost everyone else I'm seeing playing it is just like so fucking bad at it. So I'm really happy with it. Great.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, the talents that they gave him are just like, you can watch our fucking review of the patch notes. I was like, so is this just Lonely Druid now? Because like these talents are absurd. Like, do I want 30 damage or do I don't know, what, like 65? Like, I fucking wonder which is, it's like twice as big and then +5. It's incredible. Like 7 Spirit Bear armor? I don't know, maybe. Or like minus 50-second respawn time. I don't know, 30-second respawn time at level 25 sounds pretty fucking useful. It's just good,
Yep.
man.
Yeah, I'm
so
thrilled.
good.
I'm also a fan of builds, kind of like the Ember Spirit builds. I'm a fan of things that are very like opposite tradition. Like I do like Lonely Druid just for like the idea that it's like, all right, well, I know this hero used to be played in the complete opposite fashion, but never mind. Like Ember Spirit too. It's like, okay, this hero used to be a physical damage, and then one patch later, it's like, okay, you always do magic damage now.
Yeah.
I just like that for like, I don't know why specifically, but I think that's a really interesting dynamic in balance.
Some people get way into their fucking like own shit with this though. Like I saw, when Wings played it, the dude had like, he didn't go quelling on his bear because, hey, why would you want fucking Jesus? He didn't go quelling. The only items on his bear at like fucking 45 minutes was a stout shield and an orb of venom. Like, how do you play Lone Druid? Like, you don't even have 65 damage until you're level 15. You're just like, you know what? My Entangle bot, it doesn't need boots. I have no need for boots. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get boots on your fucking bear. Like, I don't care how shitty you are at this fucking hero. Like, there's no world where you don't at least get fucking boots on your bear. I mean, no one is ever gonna buy phase boots because people just love when their bear fucking crashes into creeps and can't do anything. But man, like, if you don't at least get boots on bear, like, you are just Lone Druid until you're level 15. There is fucking no difference between you and Lone Druid last patch until you hit 15. So like, just don't pretend your bear doesn't fucking exist. That's not how the hero works. I hate everyone.
Yeah, people have a tendency to take things a bit far, especially if they're not a player of the hero in the first place. People sometimes over innovate. Like, oh boy, like I don't know. As an example, like, oh, right click Quap is good now, and so they might be like, oh, okay, let's just get a data.
Deso first.
Deso first. Yeah. So like, there's a
no, sorry, go on.
Yeah, well, innovation is like a gradual thing, right? You should be like, oh, this is pretty cool, and then move into it. Compared to being like, okay, physical damage is good on Quap, therefore I'm going to only build physical damage, or like vice versa on LD. It's like, okay, the Lonely Druid build is good, so I'm not even going to skill bear. Like that's taking it too far, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about slaughtering.
And if you don't get boots on your bear, you might as well have not skilled fucking bear.
Yeah, should have skilled stats. Oh wait. All right. So for my next hero, I'm going to talk about Quap, actually, who I just brought up. So Quap, actually, somehow she has a 41.6% win rate overall, which is incredibly low.
Super low.
That being said, she's a hero that like lends herself to bad decision making, myself included. Like any of these heroes with like a 1300 range blink, it makes the trigger figure antsy, and you're like, oh boy, I can get this dive, and then you really can't. And so,
or like, hey, why don't I get this rune over there in the middle of fog? Turns out someone else also wanted that, and you don't have blink anymore.
Yeah, I cannot even count the amount of times that I've just solo killed Quaps as Invoker in previous patches at Rune. It's like, okay, I know you're going to go for Rune. Just gonna Sunstrike it and then like Cold Snap and Forge Spirit you, or just Sunstrike in the first place if you're low. Like, it's amazing how predictably stupid some Quap players are. That being said, she's really good now. I think. I think most people think. Not only does she fit this kind of like constant fighty metagame, but she has a whole bunch of different builds you can do. You can do the Veil build, which I like. Weeha, he's been doing the Ags build, just like straight, like, what's called? Treads, Null, Bottle Ags.
That's actually the Skrunk. That's the Skrunk build?
Well, yes.
Skrunk's been doing it for years. It's the Skrunk build.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, Skrunk. But and then you can do like the physical damage build where you build like one of those openings and then you scale into like Maelstrom, Bloodthorn, AC, etc. So that's like a huge advantage to the hero, or like most heroes that have options, is just that like you can assess the situation, be like, okay, I'm having problems with X this game, so I'm gonna do this build or that build, etc., etc. Personally, I've been liking Veil into like Orchid or Veil into Ags, but I do like the straight Ags build too, so maybe I'll try that around. But
I've been doing so many Linken's builds on Quap lately. Like every game I get into, I'm like, ooh, they have Dismember, they have Fiend's Grip, they have literally anything. And I'm just, maybe I don't know, maybe I have to go Linken's. I don't know what to tell you. I guess I just have to go Linken's. And then I have a Linken's. You farm so fucking fast as soon as you get that Void Stone, man.
Yeah, I agree completely. I love Linken's on Quap. I usually wouldn't build it first, but like some games you just have to. Like Veil Linken's is amazing because it's like, okay, I have all the offensive potential.
I don't like that Veil at all, honestly.
Why? Veil's so cheap.
Veil, it's pretty expensive, dude. Like Veil, Linken's, and then you still need your Ags, and then you still don't have a single like real offensive item. I think that's pretty weak.
I mean, but if you can go into physical damage, then you can skip the Ags and just go like Maelstrom, Bloodthorn.
You can't skip the Ags, man. The Ags is so fucking core in this hero.
I see people not building Ags.
Well, they're wrong because the Ags is so fucking good.
I mean, it's good,
good
but
enough that like, we gets it first item sometimes, man.
I'm just looking. I mean, I think it's like you either play the Ags build or not. I'm looking at all these 6,500 MMR and higher games.
They're probably bad,
and they're split.
Probably just bad players.
They're split between physical damage builds and Ags builds, and then some in between. But it is not like it's not a solely Ags game.
Okay, I mean, like, I'm willing to accept it. I'm just saying, man, that I don't like playing Quap without that Ags. That's where my opinion is at. Maybe that's why she has a 40% win rate. No one's getting that Ags.
I mean, these guys all are winning, but I like the Ags. I agree with you. I'm just saying,
it's so good to be able to because you just go in, you ulti, and then you move the Ags into your fucking backpack and get another item out. Like, I love it. I mean, a lot of my Quap games go pretty late, but her late game is so fucking good, especially if you can just swap that Ags like right after you ulti. So good.
Yeah. Like I said, I like the Ags a lot. I'm just saying you can definitely do like this guy did Linken's first. And he
I like it so far.
Treads, Linken's, Blade Mail, Octarine, and then he was building a Bloodthorn. And this is just one of these like super fight builds. Anyway, regardless of whether you love the Ags or not, it's quite good. Not mandatory, as Proud says, but it is very good. Lots of Blade Mail on Quap 2, thanks to her absurd level 25 talent, which is 75% or 70% spell lifesteal.
Like Quap Blade Mail was popular before that. Like it was a pretty common pickup on her. Now it's just solidified.
Oh yeah, I mean now it's better. Like it just is better. So what ends up happening is you build Octarine and you have your level 25 talent, or even you just have your level 25 talent. And the Blade Mail is, I mean, effectively you're healing yourself by taking damage because of the reflection and you stealing, like the reflection from Blade Mail is giving you health, and then you're like, you have armor and such at that point. So you're mitigating, and it's very strong. Kind of like Blade Mail on, what's it called? Ember Spirit, which is like one of the big builds now for the spell damage. Ember Spirit is like you have Octarine and you're dealing a ton of damage with Blade Mail with between Veil, Octarine, etc. So that's the whole thing. That's really the biggest one is the spell lifesteal. It has a 5% higher win rate than the alternatives 35 intelligence.
Yeah,
but I think I did
go on
in like the first game I think I played of Quap this patch before I like had done his research or like before like Reddit threads had been made about it. I remember I did pick the int once because I was like doing a right clicking thing and I was like, oh, I do a lot more damage. And then like I saw people with the lifesteal thing and I was like, oh my god, this is silly. Other than that, you can pick up attack range on her, CDR, and damage. And the hero is very strong just in general, especially in the fact that she has like 2 forms of damage to put out, or 3 because her ult's pure damage always.
Yep.
It's options are core. Like options are great, and she at the same time does a ton of magic damage and does a ton of physical damage, and then she can scale into doing more of one or more of the other. So really like Quap also.
Yeah, I also, when I first started playing her, I was getting the 35 int. I think my like prediction originally was like, well, what's the point of the lifesteal? Like, you get caught, you die. But honestly, if you just like you get caught and then you live long enough to press E, all you need is one fucking E on like the 5 people dogpiling on you, and you're back to full health and you blink out. But I still like the 35 int. Not gonna lie, and not that I would go it, but
I mean,
I have fun. I have fond memories of just like the absurd damage output with like an extra 35 int on you. Like it's solid, but I'm pretty sure you have to go lifesteal in every circumstance. But yeah, you can dream.
It is just nice to be like, okay, I picked this one thing and now I have 35 more of my base stat. Or like some heroes have like 40 strength or whatever. Like that kind of stuff is just very satisfying. Like, man, I'm hitting for 35 more damage.
And it's also like you get a couple % more like spell damage out of it. Like Queen of Pain is one of the best heroes to just get like a ton more of her base stat, right? I mean, there's like Tinker and OG or whatever who use their mana and, you know, some mana to damage shit, but like just, you know, Quap just uses what int gives her.
Yeah. So do you have any more heroes you want to talk about, or should we hop into?
I don't give a fuck, dude. Heroes? Oh, right. What about Tiny? Because literally nothing changed and he's still shit.
Okay.
And after these talents, he's now like even shittier.
I'll take your word for it. I have not played a Tiny game because I similarly am of the opinion that I'm not very fond of him.
I love him, dude. He's awful, but he sucks.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I like the hero, but I think I agree that I don't think he's in a great place right now.
Yeah, he's a bad hero. He's really bad, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think in that same vein, we could bring up Lena, but I don't want to reopen old wounds.
So, how is she this patch?
Not great. It turns out not great.
Huh.
So let's talk about our combo. So we already talked a little bit about Ember Spirit, but the actual full combo, we're gonna be playing Ember Spirit Lifestealer or Ember Spirit Nakes. I don't know Ember Spirit's real name.
Nyx. It's Jin, right? Xion.
Is it? That sounds correct. X is what our friend Rabbit was teaching me. She was saying
like
that X. The romanization of X is usually SH.
But it's Jin. Like it. I mean, it's not just like Shin. It's you get a little zh to it. Jin.
Yeah. I've been. Oh God. Romanization.
I played Dynasty Warriors, man. I got the best pronunciation. Actually, for like 7 or 8 Dynasty Warriors games, they pronounced Cao Cao like fucking Cao Cao. They pronounced it Cow Cow. Like literally, it is your job. Like this is all you have to do is get like one of the 3 main characters and like the most infamous character from the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Like just get his name right, and they're like Cow Cow. Like oh God, how the fuck? Yeah.
We don't have to get into a language hole, but I've been in the process of casually studying Korean just for the fun of it because I like all my Korean dramas and stuff. And learning how they Romanize Hangul is nonsense. Like some of it makes
the Korean alphabet is even hard. It's like very Western.
It's very logical, but at the same time, like I literally like to my right, I have 2 posters that are like Hangul charts, and they both Romanize the same exact characters different ways. That's how like seemingly arbitrary it is at times.
Yeah,
where it's like okay, like sometime anyway, Romanization is like bizarre, and especially like it's not consistent across different languages. So like the romanization of like Chinese into like, you know, the Roman alphabet is completely different than the romanization of like Japanese or Korean into the Roman alphabet. So it's all nonsense. But
you know who's actually in charge of the romanization of Hangul?
No.
A Hangful.
So we're going to move on. We're going to be talking about Ember Spirit Lifestealer. Ember Spirit, we already talked a bit about. But essentially, like the crux of it is he does a lot of spell damage now, and he does it real fast, and he does it real effectively. And
that's true.
I think one of the biggest differences now with this build that I've noticed, like playstyle wise, other than the obvious that you're doing magic damage, is that now you're rewarded a lot more for being a good Ember Spirit player, and that kind of like split push annoying Ember Spirit from previous patches is pretty gone. So, like previous patches, what people would do, right, is they'd have their safety remnant in base, and they just go farm a side lane, and then they would just remnant out and leave. and be like, okay, like it's super safe, super annoying, whatever. But now you're trying to kill people with your spirit, so you have to like triple remnant them right away, and that doesn't leave room for you to like remnant and get out, right? And you can do like two remnants.
I don't know. I mean, it only takes one remnant to do that. I mean, if you're doing it nonstop, but like you only do that once every Boots of Travel cooldown, and you'll get your remnant back within that time.
Yeah, I mean, but the idea is, right, especially in the very early game when you really need to squeeze out every little bit of damage to just instant kill people. You are either...
You're not doing too much TP back to base shit.
Yeah, the Blink Dagger is so effective, right, because it allows you to just blink on top of them or blink away from them after doing one of these triple remnant businesses. So that is like an element to it's rewarding good Ember Spirit players that have good like internal cooldown knowledge of like, okay, I'm going to have a remnant now. I don't have a remnant. I'm going to have a remnant, whatever. So that's been one of those things that I've noticed is like you could kind of just pick Ember Spirit before and be like, okay, like, yeah, you're rewarded for being good at the hero, but also like I could just have a safety remnant and a Lincoln's and never die. So
yeah, pretty much all you're doing is you're just slighting and then getting back if you're ever in danger. But now that you're just like, there's a lot more tools that you need to actively be managing in like real time.
Yes. And the other big difference now with this build is its peaks and valleys in strength, right? So before, what we would see with this Battle Fury build is you're effective in the early game because you do a lot of spell damages natively through your Flame Guard and Chains and Spirits. But then you'd have like a 5 to 10 minute period where it's like, okay, I don't deal enough magic damage to kill people right now, or at least not anybody that's a core, but I don't have my Battle Fury up. And then even when you do have your Battle Fury up, it's like, I don't have a data list, so I'm not actually doing that much big damage. I'm just doing chip damage. But now with this magic damage build, you're just consistently outputting a ton of damage, right? So it's going to fall off like in the super late, or it falls off if somebody builds a BKB or what have you. But in general, he stays super effective for a very long time in that like 0 minutes to 30 minutes period, or more realistically, like 8 minutes to 30 minutes period. Whereas before I'd be like, okay, I'm effective for like 8 to 15, and then I'm not effective for 15 to 22, and then I'm effective, like it was all kind of weird peaks and valleys with the old build. But now like you're building these cheap items that are super effective, and you're able to just do a ton in the early game, and in the mid game, that his peaks and valleys as far as effectiveness are way different and way more consistent, I will say. Is there anything else? I mean, we talked about Ember Spirit a lot already. Nothing's really coming to mind.
That's kind of it. I feel really strongly about getting the Radiance on Ember Spirit because I feel like you do need your Sleight of Fist to do something. And I feel like Radiance is the only way it ever is going to do something. Like, you have all this cooldown reduction and shit. Like, your Sleight of Fist might as well, because, like, Searing Chains gets benefit from cooldown reduction, but I don't know. Like, you need something for when a BKB is popped, right? Like, you need to be able to push. Like, this hero already can't push for shit with the Battle Fury build that was all plus damage. And if all you have is, like, a Veil and fucking, like, the stats from Veil are all that's buffing your right-click damage, like, you need a Radiance. I feel like that item is super, like, I don't know. I just wouldn't want to play this hero without going the Radiance or the Mjolnir or something like that. Maelstrom, whatever.
Yeah. I am actually looking at games, and almost everybody's building the Radiance, just at different timings. So some people are rushing it, and they're building, like, usually what I'm seeing now is people are just going Yules. People are going Veil, BOT, Radiance, and then they'll build like the other stuff later, so like the Octarine, Blink, and I'm seeing a lot of Shivas too. Octarine, Blink, etc. later, or I see them skipping it and going with the Maelstrom as the alternative. But the core of the build is still consistent, right? The core is still BOT, or still is Veil, and then BOT, and then usually Blink, or I guess the idea is like if you just can farm the 3800 without dying, get that. Otherwise, get the utility from like a Blink or what have you. Maelstrom's super good too, but I think it really is like it comes down to if you can get the Radiance, get it, and if you can't get the Radiance, get like Blade Mail, Maelstrom, etc. I think that's probably the gist of it, and just through the nature of like if you're looking at high MMR players, they are going to be better at farming, therefore they're going to be better at getting the Radiance. I think that logic's pretty sound. And some people are even getting the Radiance super late, like 6K MMR Ember Spirit that I'm looking at. He went Veil, Blade Mail, BOT, and then he bought a few other items, Octarine, Shivas, and then only got the Radiance at 47 minutes as like his 6th slot. So I think the effectiveness doesn't peter off, but it is nice, like you said, dude, like it's nice to do 60 more physical damage or whatever it is. Like that's just pretty good. 65 damage. And like the burn damage is a lot. But yeah, generally people are getting it like second or third, right after the BOTs.
Yeah, because I mean, it's often thought as an item that's better the earlier you get it, right? But I mean, same is true for pretty much all spell damage that you do. All right, and what's your stance on Dagon?
Item
for Ember.
Like, I've lost to it. I'll say that. I think it's just a meme item. Yeah. Like,
I built it once and I was not. I mean, the game was shit, but I was not very happy with the results.
Yeah, I mean, it is a ton of damage. To be fair, like if you have Veil and like, I think. So I've probably talked about this before, but I think one of the biggest things with Dagon is that it's like, it's so good to have a Dagon level 1. And then you start over investing in it and it's like, oh my God, like I've invested 8,000 gold and like, yeah, it's a good item, but like 8,000 gold is a lot of freaking gold, dude. So I'm kind of on the fence. Like I think it could legitimately be good, but I think in general it's not. I'm going to say I'm not a fan. That being said, like I've seen it work before, so you know, whatever. Sumail does it sometimes.
Sure, good enough for me.
Yep, that's the seal of approval. Let's talk about Lifestealer though, because Ember Spirit, you know.
I don't know. Do we have to though?
We should. I mean, not a lot's changed about him, right?
Yeah, no, he's pretty similar. Like there was a trend for a little bit where people would just like skip Echo Saber and get the Deso. I feel like we played or talked about him relatively recently. But he's definitely back in a huge way, especially comboing with Slardar and shit like that. Like a Slardar bomb with like amp damage and then like an Echo Saber hit with like Feast with all that minus armor is just way too much to deal with, honestly. So
it's disgusting. I hate it so much. And Nyx is popular again. Or I mean, he's still popular, I should say. And like Nyx bombs, Nyx Snakes bombs.
Yeah.
Super effective.
Nyx.
So I see a lot of different builds on Nyx past like the first couple items.
Really?
Yeah, because like
it's pretty set, honestly.
See, I see like always the first couple are set, right? It's always like Phase Boots, Casual Blightstone, and then you go Armlet, Echo Saber, and then usually you build Deso after that. I see that
always you build Deso. Almost always.
I build it always, but I've seen other people
98% of the time. I mean, I see idiots with SNY and shit, but you always go Deso for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. But after that, I mean, I see a lot of AC.
Always AC. Like 98% AC.
And then like the issue, right, is in that super late game, like how do you fit in like Abyssal Blade and Heart and stuff? Like you just have a lot of options that I want.
I don't know. Like it's okay. Like my standard build is I get the AC and then I get Abyssal Blade, and that kind of takes care of my health issue. And then you can get the Heart after if you want. But if you don't need the Abyssal, you can also swap that out for like a Bloodthorn. You can get Blink after the Deso if you really want to Blink. Like if you just have like a Lifestealer with just Rage, Echo Saber, Deso, Blink, and Armlet, of course, but you just like blink on someone, magic immune, and you just do the fucking 2 slaps, and then they're fucking hella slowed, and then you have time to like get your open wounds out from the little slow you just applied, and then you just fucking jam on them, and you fucking kill them. Especially like you don't need the attack speed from AC if you're just doing this like jump in with the rage attack speed. So like blink is nice on him. What?
Yeah, but like if that's your core, right? If you're building like Armlet, Phase Boots, Echo Saber, what's called Desolator, Blink, that's like 5-year slots committed to like 2,000 gold or less items, give or take, right? Like my concern always with Lifestealer is that he fits so well with all these cheap items that have these like power peaks in the mid game. And they all do well in the late game still. Like Armlet is still really good in the late game, and Echo Saber is still really good in the late game, and Deso is still really good in the late game. But like you fall off at a certain point where it's like, okay, other people have 6 slots of like 4,000 gold items, and I have a bunch of like dinky little 2,000 gold items.
Yeah, I mean you're fine. Like you still have 1 slot for AC, and you can just like move your TP around or whatever, and then you replace the Echo Saber. Like you only get the blink if it's like a really good blink game, right? Like it's not like every game you go blink. Like the standard build is Deso, then AC, then either like then either Bloodthorn or Abyssal, and then you can get like Heart or Scotty or whatever the fuck you want from there. Okay. It's pretty basic, honestly.
Yeah. I agree with you that like the beginning is linear. It's just I see like such a variety of weird things, and like people just do these like fighty builds where they like still build like a bunch of attack speed and like a maelstrom and an abyssal, and they build that pretty
I've seen
early.
the Mjolnir sometimes, but it's still decently rare.
Yeah. Anyway, the consistent core of items is definitely the way to do it, right? And past that, you can kind of situate for the game. The Bloodthorn on Lifestealer, honestly, is like my favorite item. I played a Bloodthorn Lifestealer game the other day. Oh my god, it may be my favorite hero I've bought a Bloodthorn on yet.
It's pretty brutal. When did you get it?
I got it 4th item. Let's see, I'll pull up the game.
So like instead of AC.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we had somebody else building. Oh god, where is this game? This is gonna bother me now. I built it at like 30 minutes. Let's see. Okay, so what I did was I went the traditional first few items. So it was my 4th item. I had Phase Boots, Armlet, Echo Saber, Desolator, Bloodthorn. And then I built a heart and BOTs. So I never actually built the AC. Although I had an AC on my team. That's why I built heart instead.
Yeah, no, I mean, that makes sense. The AC just gives you a bunch of attack speed and armor, but if you don't need the attack speed and armor, if you don't need the armor, Bloodthorn is not completely similar, but it's not like you're completely out of attack speed if you have a Bloodthorn. What does it give? Like 30 or something?
Bloodthorn?
30 attack. Yeah, 30 attack speed. So you're missing like 25 attack speed. But that's fine. Like you still have your Echo Saber at that point. So attack speed isn't actually that necessary. And you want to be like Bloodthorning, and I mean sometimes you want to be Bloodthorning when you're raging, just so you like hold them down and they can't stop you, and like you get the certain kill. Other times you'll Bloodthorn, and then as soon as Bloodthorn wears off, you're gonna want to rage. But I mean, you can kill someone in a Bloodthorn duration as a Lifestealer with rage on pretty much 100% of the time. It's really good.
So this is my other key question on Lifestealer: is how do you always get rid of the Echo Saber instead of the Armlet in like the super late situations, or do you sometimes get rid of both? Or
depends if you need the armor. That's kind of where I sit on it. The offensive potential afforded you by the Armlet is actually really high, like so much so that you see alchemists when they're like 6 slotted
still
like,
have it.
They replace it for an AC. But they're actually probably a little bit weaker after they ditch the Armlet for the AC before they switch out like another item. Because then you're just like pure armor, no attack speed, no damage. Or rather, not no attack speed, no damage. Like the Armlet gives you so much fucking damage. It's like 50 or something like that. That's a fucking ton. And it gives you a good amount of attack speed, and it's like 9 armor and shit. Like that's fucking crazy, man. That's a lot of shit to lose.
Yeah. If you're a strength hero, it gives you cumulatively, assuming you have it active, it gives you 64 damage.
64, fucking hell, man. That's a big fucking number, dude. Like that's
40 damage,
good.
40 damage, 25 strength, 25 attack speed, 5 armor, 7 HP regen. It's a good item, turns out. Yeah,
that's really that much
for me. Yeah, 31 damage, plus 25 strength.
Yeah, 9 plus 31, and then 25. Yeah, 65. Hot fucking damn. I mean, the health drain is pretty brutal, honestly, especially as the game gets later. Like, the more armor you have, the more 45 essentially pure damage means. Because, like, it's not like you're taking, like, your health pool gets denser as you get more defenses, right? So at some point, like with Dragon Knight, like Armlet is really the only thing that hurts Dragon Knight, if I'm honest. So a lot of the times Armlet is like, I don't know, my thing is that like I have 2,000 health, but I have insane armor and a BKB. So like I'm never actually going to lose any health, and then my Dragon's Blood regen is like so fucking valuable. Like when you have 40 fucking armor, 12 health regen from Dragon's Blood is crazy. But then your Armlet is on and you're like, it turns out I actually just lose 30 health when I only have 2,000, and my whole thing is that you can't do damage to me. So, But with Lifestealer, like you just have a ton of fucking health and you just gain it back all the time and shit. So whatever.
Yeah, I found, like, especially thinking specifically about this recent Lifestealer game I played, Lifestealer's lifesteal is so deceptive because it's like super effective in some parts of the fight and then super ineffective at other parts. Like, you can't just count on being like, I'm going to lifesteal 100 health every hit. Because it's like, okay, this person's low HP, so hitting them is going to get me basically nothing. This person's high HP, so I'm like having a great time and I'm like gaining a ton of health back. Yeah. Like, and especially in a laning phase where like if you're playing a lane where you're getting harassed, and then it's like, okay, well, I would like to be lifestealing, but I can't like auto attack creeps, and I'm like getting the last hit, so I'm getting like 3 health per thing. That's just, I've always had that problem with Lifestealer. Like, you assume you have a lot more lifesteal than you do.
Yeah.
Open wounds does help mitigate that, though.
Here's a hot trick, babes. If you open wounds a creep and then infest in it, you'll heal for the infest heal plus the entire health pool of the creep through open wounds. It's like, open wounds heals you for 50% of the damage you do. When you infest in a creep and then pop out, you deal its entire health pool like as damage to it. So you'll heal for infest plus 50% of whatever health pool the creep you had was. So that's a fun way to regen on Lifestealer.
Yeah, I've actually, that's one of those things that, like, you know, those anecdotes that you hear or like you see a Reddit thread about it, or you hear it from somebody, and then you're like, wow, that's really good, and like you just don't play the hero for a while, and then you forget that knowledge exists. I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's not too hard. True.
You're just like, hey, if I'm going to infest in something to heal, maybe cast open wounds first. And then you're like, holy shit, full health. Like, I'll have 2,000, I'll be like dead after a fight at like level fucking 20, and I'll still heal off of like one centaur back to full health. Like, it's fucking great.
All right. And also, like, the other big thing about this combo specifically is, like, I'm going to be playing the Ember Spirit. So I'll have like blink and all that, and we can do these kind of like Nakes bombs. And I offer a lot of lockdown. We have a duality of, like, I do a lot of fat magical damage. You're going to be doing a lot of physical damage. And it's a nice combination. Ideally, we also have a Slardar on our team, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah. Well, so one good thing about it is if you look at what a Lifestealer bomb is, yes, it's a ton of physical damage, but a big part of it is the initial damage that you get off of Infest, which is 150, 275, 400 magic damage, which is a shit ton. And that... yeah, we don't have like the fucking instant amp from Slardar, but we do have a Veil. So it's in some ways, like, you also are vastly increasing my damage, because my Infest out, like, my Infest goes from like 400 damage to fucking like, what is that? I don't know, like 500 magic damage, and that's pretty solid. And then my Deso is buffing, like, you know, you're gonna get in, right click, Slate of Fist, and my Deso is like buffing that majorly. And so all we really need is that like initial burst of damage that my Infest affords. You buff that up a little bit, and then I'm fucking like, you know, Desoing, and you're huge, and it's just like, we just need to burst someone down, right? And I have fucking like Rage going, and I Echo Saber, and we have Infest buffed up, and your right click buffed up, and that's enough to get a kill.
Yep. I definitely agree. Hopefully this goes well. I've seen lots and lots of Lifestealer domination and lots of Ember Spirit domination recently, so hopefully we pull it out, especially compared to last week's game, which did not go great. So you'll be able to watch the game on .btv1, and we'll be breaking to play that, so hopefully it's fun. Goodbye. All right, hello everyone. We are back. We have just completed our game. It was a short game. It did not go great, but it was better than last week. At least it was not like a ridiculous loss, just mostly a team comp thing. So we will now read off the teams. The enemy team had a mid Shadow Fiend, a offlane Sand King, offlane Sand King, and a safe lane tri-lane of Juggernaut, Abaddon, and Silencer. We had, of course, Ember Spirit mid, a safe lane Lifestealer, an offlane duo lane, I believe, that was Slardar Treant, and then a roaming / top lane support Mirana. So basically, just going off those teams, one can figure out what happened. And the Radiant, our enemy team, they just 5-manned with all their healing. They had a nice couple team fights that gave them a few items. And they just 5-manned down our towers. That's how you speak the English language. And we couldn't do much to stop them. Like, things weren't catastrophic, I'll say. But then it was one of those games where, like, the enemy team 5-mans and you don't have, like, the things that counteract 5-man. And, like, we had ganking heroes that couldn't really gank, or they tried and failed. Like, Mirana infamously is the, like, skill / luck based hero, and
make it or break it, all skill shots. Like, it's kind of just up, kind of like a pudge, just up to whether or not your support Mirana hits their arrows. If not, you lose. If yes, you win.
Exactly. Like, and I was talking about this in the recording. This is something that I should have brought up before. But the thing about, like, Ember Spirit, whether you're playing any build of Ember Spirit, is he's one of these mids that has a lot of kill potential with a hero ganking his lane. like he has decent kill potential regardless, but in those like first 6 levels or so, you can pretty easily kill people if anybody rotates to your lane. So like a lot of times we'll see things like Ember Spirit, Earth Spirit. That's a common one that I see in pro games and in pub games, because you have like just constant aggression potential. Or Mirana, like, is fine. If Mirana's hitting arrows, that's great, but obviously that didn't work out. So my lane, like, basically we traded farm for a while. Let me actually look, see if it is on Dota buff yet with the 10-minute stats. At 10 I was 45-7, and Shadow Fiend ended up 55-8, and so that's more or less equal. Like, he got a bit ahead. He had a couple waves where I couldn't lane, but like it was more or less fine. Like nobody was crushing one another, no deaths on either side. I maybe could have killed him solo at 6, but he had a fairy fire, and I'm fairly certain, like, I hit him with all 3 remnants, and then I had like a full duration chains, but it was only level 2 chains, because at 6 you have 3 points in your what's it called, flame shield. So I'm fairly certain I could have done it, but maybe in a different universe I could have done something. But so that was fine. But then my real issue, I don't know about you, Proud, I imagine you had similar issues. My real issue was the Abaddon, because he would just, like, I would try to kill people and he would purge off my chains, which not only does it not do the stun or the snare, but it now does less damage because it deals damage over time. Compared to, like, if Abaddon's stopping a Venge stun, it's like, okay, well, it already did the damage, it's just removing the stun. But the chains actually actively are doing like hundreds less damage because of his thing.
Oh yeah,
so
and especially
that really
sucked. Like when you have, what is it, at the second point, the DPS at the third point is like 120, and then when you go to the fourth point, it's down to 100, because it like adds a second of duration from 2 to 3 seconds, so like the damage goes down to compensate. So like effectively, if it's getting Dispel, you may actually be better off with just a 3-point Searing Change. It's just like, if you're ever in a situation where like a more leveled up skill may actually be functionally worse for you, like that's definitely not a good situation.
Yeah, and I imagine you had similar issues with open wounds, where he would just purge open wounds off.
Yeah, I mean, like, both of our heroes, the way that we work is, I mean, they're very different heroes in mechanics, but essentially, like, we kind of get kills by the skin of our teeth. It's not like a Sven where, like, you heal someone up a little bit and they die. Like, I do less damage the less health someone has. So, like, all of my kills, I'm like, I got you. Now I'm gonna, like, finish you off just barely. And then, like, an Abaddon shield comes up and was like, okay, my feast does literally no damage, and you have an extra, like, 200 fucking health to work with right now. Like, it's just impossible to, like, finish a fucking kill with Lifestealer against an Abaddon.
Yeah,
and then
the Abaddon was a
like,
real issue.
You like go in with enough bursts just to kill like one person through their like raindrop and all that shit, and then they get like fucking healed up once by Abaddon. You're like, well, I'm committed and my remnants are gone. I'm dead. Like, I can't. This needed to kill a motherfucker. And Lifestealer is the same way. Like, I need to kill a motherfucker with rage and then have an advantage and win off like that momentum. If we don't get that initial kill momentum, like, we're out. That's it.
Yeah, so that was basically the gist of it. And then another core issue that like enabled them to 5-man, or I shouldn't say enabled, but it helped them with their 5-man, was we had 4 melee heroes and a Mirana. So Healing Ward was just like nigh impossible to kill. When they were sieging, like they would be sieging our tier 2 tower, and like Healing Ward would be in the back, and like normally, like if you had a ranged hero, like you'd start the fight and then the ranged hero would just run up and get it while everybody's like up in a tizzy. But when you have 4 melee heroes and like a Mirana who's naturally standing far in the back, Healing Ward was just like all over the place. And like, this is less a comp thing, but more a play thing. And the enemy team just had really good wards. And like they just really dominated us vision wise. So on top of having like 4 melee heroes, they had a lot of like ability to set up stuff and just like play around it well. So those were, I would say, like the fundamental issues. I ended up first picking Ember, which generally you don't want to do, but like partially because I only had time for one game, so I didn't want to like, I didn't want, because somebody put it up to ban, so I was like, okay, so clearly like that's not an uncommon ban nowadays, but clearly that's like a high priority thing. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna first pick it because like whatever, like if they pick a Legion, I'll just buy Lincoln's. But I've honestly never like seen the Abaddon as a counter pick to Ember Spirit with this build. And now, honestly, I think I'm going to be doing it. Like, every time I support against an Ember Spirit, it it was absurdly effective, honestly. Like,
yeah. Was you mentioning before the game that you were afraid of an Abaddon?
No, but right when they picked it, it was like one of those like epiphany moments.
Yeah,
because Abaddon's like one of those heroes that you just don't think about because he's not popular, even though he has a really high win rate. And unless you're playing like Beastmaster, people generally aren't like, oh boy, I hope they don't pick Abaddon.
Yeah, or Mirana or whatever, which we had. Yeah. We had Mirana.
Yeah, and we had Slardar. Like, we had a whole bunch of heroes that Abaddon's really good against.
Yeah.
But so, he was
even dispelling like Tree's ulti is good.
Yeah. Or like even Leech Seed. Like Abaddon's just a really good hero. And like people don't pick him that much, but
I don't know if I call him really good. I mean, with the talents, he's a bit more decent, but like Abaddon
57% win rate.
Yeah, but like he's a healing hero. Like Necrophos is good now, but Necrophos had like a fucking like 7% win rate or whatever, like a couple patches ago when Necro was shit. But just because he's like healing and really good at low level pubs, like I wouldn't say Abaddon was like good, like a couple patches ago, but he definitely is now. I don't know.
Oh yeah, 1 second. I'm just looking up. He has in. Wow. Okay, so you're actually very right about the whole like low level pubs, especially. So just going by bracket, Abaddon. Let's see, Abaddon in sub 2K. God, where's Control F when you need it? And so in sub 2K, he has a 59% win rate. In 2K to 3K, he has a 58.4% win rate. In 2K to 3K, in 3K to 4K, he has a 57% win rate, and then it goes down to 55% in 5K plus. So like, healing is really good in all brackets. Don't get me wrong, but that definitely is like the motif. It's particularly good in lower level pubs. So you're definitely right about that. But anyway, Abaddon was particularly a big problem for us. Silencer was also a problem for me specifically. That's a good counter pick to Ember in general. Yeah. And like it's good as a counter initiation for our team, right? Because our team was predicated on like we're just gonna like Slardar pop in, maybe Treant ult, whatever. But like Slardar would come in and like crush, or maybe not even crush, and Silencer just had fast reaction time would silence, and then like you can maybe get open wounds off, or maybe get rage off, or maybe get X, Y, or Z off, but you can't get like your full rotation, especially like friggin' Ember Spirit. I was just neutered completely. And especially it was rough.
If you think of kind of like the best setup in the world for an epicenter, it's like the enemy team engages, gets all up in your shit, and then they can't cast any spells. What a great time to start like a 1.5 second channel for an epicenter.
Yeah. The Sand King did have some really nice epicenters, and it was something. I will say
I really like Sand King plus Silencer. If they weren't both 4s, like that would be a really good duo.
Yeah, well, I mean, Sand King just plays the 3.
Sand King's a 3, not a 4. Yeah, no, this is fine. I'd love to run that duo. Or not duo, but run those two heroes together.
Yeah, I really like their team comp just overall.
Super solid.
And like Jug Shadow Fiend is such a like meaty like core lineup where it's just like let's just punch things.
That's like my favorite core to pair with the Shadow Fiend. Like Shadow Fiend fueled by a healing ward is so good.
Oh yeah. The Shadow Fiend build was interesting because he just played to that and he just got tanky. Like he went Aki, Treads, Manta, Scotty, and then was going dataless. And like in a lot of games that wouldn't work.
But all the dispels plus the Manta, way too much.
Yeah, exactly. And it was one of those builds where like very rarely in a regular pub would I do that, but it works so perfectly with this team comp. That's why like having those kind of like variety builds in your back pocket is so useful, because like if you did a regular like standard Shadow Fiend build where you went like Dragonlance Shadow Blade or something like that, it would have just been like, I mean, it still would have won obviously, but they would have been a lot less effective than this like tanky like I'm just going to sit back and punch things to death build. So I really like their team comp overall. Big fan.
It is important in Shadow Fiend to like not just default to like the Shadow Blade build or whatever, right? The Shadow Blade is great, but I mean, you definitely identified in this game like we have an Abaddon and stuff. I'm not going to be like Shadow Blading around like stealth looking for kills. Like we're gonna like look at these fucking bastards in the face and we're gonna just like hit the fuck out of them, and like Manta is the perfect item to make sure that he can't get like reprimanded for any of that shit. Like,
Yeah,
the only way he
absolutely.
dies is, like, amp damage, and then I catch him with a fucking open wounds, and, like, if Abaddon's not there to dispel him, he has his own dispel. Like, God, it was wild. And then fucking Jug had, like, spin and his own, and a Manta, too. There was just, like, literally nothing anyone on our team could do about anything.
Yeah, I mean, because when you look at it like theoretically, even if like the bulk of like, even if our team comp was different, like even if we had like different supports or whatever, and even if like let's say they didn't 5-man, or rather if the game was going equally like item wise and all that, still like the idea behind our team comp is that like we jump in and burst single person, or we are getting pickoffs around the map, and their team comp is perfect for dealing with that thing. So like even if the game was going in our ideal fashion, like their game plan and their strategy is just fundamentally better against ours. Like it just makes a lot of sense. So kudos to that, honestly. I've had so much trouble dealing with like Slardar Nakes and Ember Spirit that like even though we lost this game, I feel like I learned so much about just dealing with this kind of stuff. It was worth the 25 party MMR or whatever it was. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was it's a pretty cool game, honestly. It's like, yeah, their lineup was honestly like really good, and I like Abaddon. You know, if he's viable, that's cool. But yeah, I mean, they played it really well. I didn't like the Jugs build at all. Like, he just has in like poor man shield, phase boots, and then just like a fucking wand, or not even a wand, a stick into Manta. Like, don't do this, anyone. Oh no, it's like Basher then Manta. What the fuck is this anyway?
I think he meant Yasha, Basher, Manta.
Yeah. I think he just got them both at the exact same time or something like that. Anyway.
That's probably true.
Anyway. Yeah, so cool game. I went Echo Saber after Armlet, which, in retrospect, I should have gone Deso right after Armlet, but that's only because when you're losing, an Echo Saber is not going to win you the game. When you're losing, a Deso is the only thing that's going to give you a chance of coming back. Cause like, Lifestealer's damage can kind of fall off, and that Deso is like kind of what keeps his feast and all of his damage kind of relevant. But as the Shadow Fiends like tanked up and the fucking Abaddon shields were coming out and stuff, like my feast was not doing it anymore. So like having the Deso earlier would have been good. The Echo is more of like farming, keeps your mana up, means you can go from fight to fight, but it was just like fight, and then I had to fucking go back to base, and then fight, and then so like the mana regen really did nothing for me. So if it looks like a hard game, I think almost any hard game, you go for the Deso over the Echo. The Echo's kind of like win more and just makes you terrifying, but if you're not scary, you're not going to be scary no matter how many Echo Sabers you have.
Yeah, I was somewhat conflicted about my build. I ended up just doing PMS bottle, and brown boots, obviously, Quelling Blade, which I think I almost always see people go Quelling Blade on Ember mid, even with this build. I have to go back, honestly, I haven't looked it up, but especially against a Shadow Fiend, like you need the damage. It's relatively cheap. And then I just went Veil, Blink, BOTs. I bought the BOTs just for like the score screen, honestly. I bought them like when they were pushing and getting megas, but logically that would have been my next item. I was like, I honestly don't know what I could have done different necessarily against this team comp, but in general, I like this item build up. I think, like, again, in general, in most games that don't have like an Abaddon, or like this 5-man thing, or even like most 5-man team comps, honestly, I still think this is like the play. Because like realistically, I was not going to be able to farm up a Radiance like at all, considering the state of the game. In that case, if I was able to, maybe I would have just done like Veil Radiance BOTs or Veil BOT Radiance or something like that. But yeah, so you know, it is what it is. Just not an Ember Spirit game, but I do stand by, like, I think if you're looking to play Ember Spirit, this is the build. Like, you want to have that mobility. BOTs, Radiance is like the luxury item, and if you can't get it early, then it's like your realistic item late. So yeah, you know, it was a game. I learned a lot, and that's what Dota's supposed to do when you lose. So that's about it for me. Do you have any more comments before we close it out?
No, it seems good. When you're playing Tree, I feel like level 1 living armor just kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's not great.
The fact that this guy had you can roam around with your Q, with like the invis or whatever, but you're never actually going to get anything from it if you don't have like 1 point leech seed. So I'd say in general, when you're playing Tree, first point Q, totally cool. Second point, get leech seed. There's no point in walking around if you're just going to bash someone for 0.7 seconds and then do nothing.
Unless it's a jungler.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're just sitting around falling... No, even then, I think you'd get Leech Seed.
No. I think totally the play. Like when I've seen people do like the counter jungle tree, I think like you're right. If you were doing like the like either gank squad tree or like just laning tree to zone, you definitely go Leech Seed first. But I've seen like a basically like a cool way to play the jungle tree where you just steal other big creeps. Like you're not even trying to like kill the jungler. Yeah. It's like, okay, this Legion commander is low and she's just finishing off like a tomato or whatever, or a satyr, and you just like bop it and you take it, and you take the gold from them, take the XP or have the XP. Yeah. And then on top of that, you now can just chase her down with like an Orb of Venom or a Windlace or Boots or whatever. And even if you don't chase her down to kill her, like you still have taken so much, and she has to go all the way back to base and all that.
Yeah,
you get farm out of it.
Just hate level 1 living armor so much, but I guess if you're just chasing someone.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mean living armor. I meant Nature's Guise.
Oh, what?
Nature's Guise, like level 1 Nature's Guise for like the counter jungler.
No. I mean like I hate the like level 2 living armor, like the first point in living armor. I'm saying I think it's really shitty.
Well, yeah, I mean, he didn't go living armor at level 1. That's what I'm saying.
No, yeah, of course not. When I mean I hate level 1 living armor, I mean like I hate the first point of living armor. Like,
yes.
I don't really like if you're level 2 and you're just like, yeah, now I have fucking first point of living armor. Everyone's gonna live now. Like that's not. It's bad. Yeah. It's not a good skill. The regen on it is pretty solid, but
yes,
I've just how much a leech seed, 1 point of leech seed will do so much more than 1 point of living armor. Like.
Yeah, 1 point leech seed does 15 times 4.
Yeah.
So
it's
60 healing.
6, 15 times 6. Fucking 90. 90 healing. I mean, obviously that means you have to be by someone, but like I'm just saying like the game impact of having a treant that can be anywhere like invis with a leech seed is way more than like you'll heal fucking like 60 health if you don't get hit 4 fucking times.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That makes sense to me. Because I thought that like the genesis of this, because I've seen a lot of people going leech seed level 1 at level 1, and then I've seen other people doing Nature's Guise level 1, and I don't know, I've seen both work. So I think that's kind of. Yeah.
I think at 2 you should be QW. I think level 2 treant QW. I feel like you should always be that.
Yeah, and then just get armor 3, 4, 5.
Get armor 3, 4, 5 if you want. I really like level 2 leech seed. Like I'm honestly probably pretty biased, so I would probably end up with like, I mean, depending how much fighting I'm doing, I may be like have 2 points in leech seed at 4 and then like max living armor from there. Like that's probably the greediest I'd go with it. But I think in general, like I think 1, 1, 3 is good to go. But you first want Q and W before you start maxing living armor.
Yeah, totally. All right, so that's about it for that. We can start doing our plugs now. So you can watch the game that we just played on youtube.com/.ptv1. You can watch our streams at twitch.tv/.ptv. We're going to be bringing back Hakuna Matata team practices now that we've got a more filled out roster. We also, of course, have our in-houses Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. You can email us at defensivepatients@gmail.com. On there, or rather next week, we are going to be having Lyrical, the caster, on so you can come live on Monday at 9 Eastern, or you can send us in questions to our email for Lyrical if you want some pro caster advice, if you want to know, you want to poke his brain about whatever. I know he used to be a chef, so you can ask him culinary questions. Why not? Do you? So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that show. And of course, you can always send your standard questions in for myself or Roland. On top of that, we have Twitter, where you can contact us. I'm at Ursinity, Proud is at Proud Dota. Our show is at .p_show. iTunes reviews are a big help for us feedback-wise, and it helps the show a lot. You can also contact us on Reddit, r/defenseofthepatients, and if you'd like to support us, you can also go to patreon.com/defenseofthepatients, or you can go to defenseofthepatients.com and click on the Amazon banner in the top right corner. If you have ad blocker on, you'll need to disable it. That is a lesson that I've had to tell many people that think that it does not exist. So yeah, that's about it. And I think we're good. So today's been a show. I'm glad to have had the experience, and I'm glad to be closing it out and going to sleep. So goodbye, everybody.